Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and today I want to show you guys how to draw the tapejara. I'm not sure if it's pronounced right or wrong, how I'm pronouncing it, but this drawing was actually requested by All J Gem, I believe it was, and he requested this drawing a while ago, but I don't know why, but I didn't see his comment, so that's why I replied a little later. So just to everyone who's used to me always replying to your comment, I'm trying to reply to every single comment, but once the viewers get a little bit higher and stuff, I get more views and more people comment on my videos. It gets really hard to comment on every single comment. So I'm trying to comment back to everyone, but sometimes it's just a little bit hard, so don't take it too personal. Alright, so what we have right here is actually one of my sketches that I did, and I wasn't really happy with this sketch, so this is just I sketched it this way so I can look at how it looks for the video, and if it's easy or if it's hard to draw and stuff. And I made another sketch, this one, and I like this one a lot more. It's a lot more accurate to how it's supposed to look and stuff. So this is the one that we are going to be drawing. Alright, let's get into it. So what we're gonna start with is a very strange kind of shape. Well, let's start with one circle over here. So this is going to be a shoulder. Most dinosaurs, the shoulder part is thinner than the hip part, but on this particular dinosaur, the hip is a little bit smaller. So we want to make this a pretty large drawing, so it's clear, it's very easy to see the little details and stuff. And this is going to be his hip, and then just make something like a back like this, and then over here will be something like a tail going down, and then try to make something like this. So over here is going to be the part where his ribs are connected, and then a lot of muscle over here for this part. Alright, now we want to draw the height in which it is standing on. It's about this high off the ground, I believe. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly. So first I'm gonna draw in his hind leg, which goes something like this. Then it goes something like this. And then over here we'll draw in his foot, I mean. One claw goes that way, one the other way. He has very long, slender limbs. Alright, something like this. I'm not sure if this part is accurate to what it's supposed to look like, but the only thing I know is that it's hard to get reference photos on this particular dinosaur. So now we're gonna draw his arm in. His arm goes something like this, goes out a little, and then over here we will have his elbow. And don't press down too hard again, because we will have a huge wing and we will draw over this part a lot. And then his arm goes kind of like this, and then kind of like this again. And again, very thin, very slender limbs he has. And we are just going to draw in one finger like this and another finger like this. Alright. And that's the basics of what his leg and arm actually look like. And I'm not sure if it's completely good into frame, because I keep lowering the paper sometimes and it doesn't really get into frame that well. Alright, now we want to draw his wing, and his wing goes kind of like this, and maybe we can even draw one more over here. This one a little bit more like this. Alright, this looks pretty good. And yeah, his wing goes something like this. And it has something like a curve into it. And like you can see right here, we're going over this entire section. So if you want to press down very hard on your pencil, you can go ahead, but I don't recommend it, because it really just it makes it really hard to erase this. The first steps are always just pressing down very lightly on your pencil. Alright. And over here we also have this kind of bone. And the tapejara was actually a very strange pterosaur, because he had a huge cell on his head. And they literally think he might have used it to sail on the water. And this part goes like this. Yeah, they actually think that he kind of went in the water and then he kind of floated on top of the water and then kind of used his head as something like a sail. So very strange. Alright, no, we're not going to erase, yeah, let's erase this. We don't need that anymore, and we want it to look good. Alright, so it should look something like this right now. And now from his elbow, actually from over here, he has a couple of lines going up like this. Something like this. And then the rest of the wing disappears behind that. Those wrinkles. And actually I just watched a couple of videos about it, and they just talked about what I just mentioned. And yeah, it's really strange. I knew this dinosaur, of course. I knew this dinosaur very well, but I didn't know what his name was and stuff, and all the things around it. So I'm just gonna try something out. If you're drawing along, don't replicate what I'm doing. I just wanted to try to have something like a little membrane over there. Alright, so now we should get into his head and his neck, and this is going to get very strange from here on, because his head is really strange. So he does have quite a long neck, but all pterosaurs have a pretty long neck, so that's not something new. His neck goes something like this, and I might even refine this later a bit more. And I want to refine this a bit more as well, because I don't really like how the back is actually looking. And I actually might have drawn the body a little bit too long. So what we could do is erase this part of his body and just bring the foot, his leg and his foot a little bit closer to the rest of his body. So I believe that his tail should be around over here somewhere, and then we just have to redo the foot. So something like this. And we don't have to actually get that, I believe his hind legs just a little bit too thick, so I'm going to make it a little thinner. Alright, that looks a little bit better. And you don't really have to draw in that membrane that I just drew, but you can if you would choose to. And I'm gonna do it, so. Alright, so this looks a lot better. I mean, the proportions of the drawing look a lot better this way. And now we want to take a look at his head. And his head goes something like this. He has, let's see how big his head is compared to his body. Alright, that's pretty big. Alright, so his head goes something like this. Just draw just a line like this. And we'll actually draw a line like this. And then a line like this. And then a very strange shaped head he has. Something like this. Very strange. His head is really shaped very strange. Alright, and then his bottom jaw goes like this. Almost straight. Until over here. Goes something like this. And then it goes something like this. And that's his bottom jaw. And I'm just going to connect this with the rest. And his bottom jaw is also supposed to be a little bit pointier. And I'm also going to make this a little bit more like into a beak. And then on top of his head it starts about over here, is something really strange. And here is this huge fin or crest on top of his head. Alright. I believe this looks pretty accurate to what kind of reference that I'm using. And then this is kind of like this. And let's see, it's also something like this. Alright, so this looks pretty, this is starting to look pretty cool, I believe. Alright, I had to place my camera a little bit better. And let's make his back a little bit different, so it looks more kind of like an organic thing. Alright, so I'm gonna darken everything. Well, not everything, because over here we still have to do a little bit of detail in his face, and then we can put a little bit more detail into everything. So yeah, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back, and I'm really sorry. I forgot that my camera was still wasn't recording yet. So what I did in the couple of minutes that I accidentally didn't record is I erased this kind of cell membrane kind of thing, and then I redrew his leg into place, and also I created this, and I have to go over it again right now. Those are the indentations on his skull where his eyes should be located at. So now we can draw in his eye, and I'm just going to draw in a very large eye. Don't make it too dark around the eye, and a nose over here. And then there's a jawline over here. This line, don't let it connect all the way. Alright, and we could draw in a tongue, but I don't believe it will look better with the tongue, because it's really going to be one dark kind of line, and it's not, we can't really get too much detail into that. Alright, so now what we should do is darken the eye, or maybe get a pupil in it. Don't do anything more than that. A pupil would be great on this drawing. And what you could do is draw a couple of lines like this over here. And you can even get something like a pattern in it, something like this. And it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And every time it goes up, you add something like this. And the same thing as when it goes down. And then just darken it in a little. And then just put those lines in again, a couple of those lines. You could make this a little bit thicker as well. Alright, this should be fine for now. Maybe later on we can make it a little darker and stuff. So alright, this is the first part, and now you know how to draw the basic body shapes and stuff of this particular dinosaur. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Leave a like, comment below and subscribe.